Welcome into this week's edition of Bull Ring Breakdown. Once again, I'd like to remind you all to please like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like and subscribe on YouTube, and we're on Facebook at Woodhall Raceway and Woodhall Raceway 64 on TikTok. A couple of things that I do want to touch on just before we get started here because we didn't get the race recap because it just kind of seems to rain all the time. This upcoming weekend is autograph night, and $200 extra to the feature winners, and the $400 for the Wicked Tees Quad C King of the Bull Ring, and that's sponsored by Lad Road Auto. And so I guess that brings me to my guest this week. I am joined by Wicked T Quad C driver Danielle Morseman and Wicked T Warrior driver Courtney Thomas. Ladies, how we doing today?
Good.
So I guess the one thing I said that the $400 Quad C King of the Ring, Danielle, are you going to be ready to go for that, or are you still a little bit out of commission?
We're gonna see how the knee works out, but we're hoping. We'll see, I guess.
So what'd you do to it? Did you?
I tore my LCL.
And that's not something. Is it with your driving foot?
Yeah, it's a clutch.
Yeah, so you can't even. What about Courtney? You think maybe we could hop in for that one? Would Mom let you? I don't know the rules. Are you allowed to do that or
I don't think so.
no? I wonder why.
I think once they move up, they can't drop back down.
Right. Even for a King of the Bull Ring, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Hmm. That kind of seems that seems silly. I'd allow it. So Danielle, I want to ask you though. So this past weekend, I got to ask you how you felt as a mom, because when Caden first started, I think everybody knows at this point that it did not go very well the first time out in the car. And the what do you do? He went off the backstretch, made contact with something down there, and really wadded up a car. So what would it feel like as a mom to go through that and then to have him come back this week and pick up his first ever feature win?
I was pretty excited. I didn't even want him back in the car, to be honest. As a mom, he took a pretty hard hit into the light pole and scary, scary night. They were going to airlift him, but they didn't end up. So he's a tough little guy, and we got him the top safety gear that we can have, and it definitely saved his life for sure. So it was pretty good to see him come back from that, and he was so excited. So hopefully, many more.
Yeah, I'd say. And Courtney, what's that kind of feel like for you as a, because I imagine you were out there, right, for practice. I assume you guys were doing it at about the same time. So did you see what happened or just kind of hear about it later?
Um,
Do you
I
remember?
actually broke my ankle the day before practice, so I couldn't practice. So I was in the stands watching them.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a leeway here because that was what, a year ago, over a year and a half ago. So is that right? Year and a half ago?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
So it would have been the practice of last year. So right. It didn't he
Yep.
didn't do it this year, right?
Nope.
So one thing I do want to ask you, Danielle, you'd probably know this more than Courtney would, but do you know the origins of the 44?
What do you mean?
Like how you guys got started? Because was it just whoever got had it the first time just picked the number and it just stuck ever since, or
So it actually started with my grandfather. He raced 44. It comes from that's the year my grandma was born. So after my grandfather had it, we all just kept going down the line.
do you know what made Caden switch to 65?
I do. It was a hard decision because we've always went with 44, but he said there's way too many 44s out there. So after my dad had passed, 65's the year that my dad was born. So that's why he went with 65.
Yeah, there is a lot of 44s out there.
Yes.
Luckily though, you guys kind of all keep within only two per division, I think.
Yeah, we try.
Because I think what is this? So it's well, the street stocks, you got Bradley and Teddy, and then you and Kaylee are in the and then Bella and Courtney for the Warriors. So I guess at least you guys keep it to two at a time.
Yep.
So what about when Courtney moves up to the adults? Is that are 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 you thinking another car, or what are you thinking there? Are we gonna have three
She's
44s?
She's undecided. I know she doesn't want to move up to the Quad C class, so our car will be for sale at the end of this year. Um, I'm kind of gonna lay back and let the kids do their thing. She really, really wants a crate sportsman, but I guess we'll see how that goes. I went down that route. It's really expensive, so I guess kind of see what sponsors we can get for her.
So what about you? Have you ever thought about open wheel, or you don't ever want to go back to that?
To be honest, I loved Crate Sportsman. It's like a Cadillac, best race car I've ever driven. When I raced, it was a full field. There was like 25 cars, so got banged up quite a bit. But it's definitely a great division to be in for sure. It's fun, but just a lot of money.
Hmm. And Courtney, is that something you've always wanted since you started was to go open wheel?
Hmm.
Yeah, you didn't never wanted the street stocks like Teddy and Bradley. What about you, Danielle? Do you ever think about going into a street stock or
That I feel that's the most competitive class. So personally, I've never wanted a street stock. They've always tried to get me to go hobby stock, but I'm really not interested in that class either. So if had to choose one, it'd probably be crate sportsman again.
right? No modifieds, huh? Is that a
No, that's way out of the budget.
what if somebody put you in one though?
I'd definitely try it for sure.
At least try it, right? You got to.
Right.
Well, I've never even driven a race car, so that's where I'm at. I, I don't know how anybody would ever get behind the wheel of a modified, but I guess. But then I see little Russell doing it, so I guess you
That
know,
boy's got skills. Definitely give it
he
to him
does.
there. He's got a lot of skills.
Yeah, no fear either, it seems like. So,
Absolutely.
of course, I don't know if any of you guys really do.
I mean, it's in our blood, so it's kind of it is what it is.
I was gonna ask you how you got your start in racing, but I think probably everybody knows at this point. Now, has there been a Morseman at Woodhall ever since it started?
Probably. Yeah, probably. It's been down the line a long time.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy to actually think about, really, when you think about just how long the tracks. So what was it? I think 1964. So at least if even if there was only a year or two, that's still a long time.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure when my grandfather started racing, but I'm sure it was back there somewhere.
Right. Right. And so you just don't want to go in the mini stocks then, Courtney? Is that more the you're kind of done with the four-cylinder deal?
Yeah, I've had enough.
Is there any reason why, or do you just want something a little different?
I just want to change it up.
And you think that, and what about Caden? Is he just gonna kind of run with the Warriors for a while and then see where that takes him?
Yeah, I think so. He really likes the front wheel drive, so we'll just let him wing that out for maybe a year or two, see what he wants to do. Um, then if he wants to move up, it is what it is. I don't feel like he's going to be the one that just stops racing. That's for sure. He'll continue to go. Then my 7-year-old, she's decided she's going to race too. So I mean, I guess we're not done for a long time.
That means you got to get a go-kart now,
None of my kids ever started in a go-kart, so they kind of just jumped right in. So there's not many tracks around anymore.
right? Did Teddy's either? Teddy's didn't either, did they?
Nope, nope.
No.
No, they just you guys just hop in a mini stock then.
Yep.
Well, that's what I really like about the Warrior class though, because at least it gets their feet wet before they hop into the adult class, I guess. So how old is Caden anyway?
Turning 14.
Yeah, he'll be 14 this
14.
year.
So he's got what, 2 years left? Is that this year and
Yep.
next year and you said he's liking the front wheel drive.
Yeah, he loves the front wheel drives.
Well, what about you? Have you ever messed with a front wheel drive? Or I know you guys have pretty much all been mini stock, right?
So me and Travis actually switched last year for the heat race to try each other's cars out, and it was an absolute nightmare for me. I couldn't handle it. So we swapped back. I'm not really a front wheel drive person. I wish I was because they're faster, but I just can't.
Right. What about you, Courtney? Have you ever driven one?
Um, I drove trabs down the road one time and I did not like it at all.
No.
No.
What, so what is it? Is it just what's different about them? Just the way that they kind of go into the corner and the power. I mean, what? I guess what didn't you like? Anything in particular, or just you're so used to the mini stock that that's what you like?
Well, our mini stock, I know they're not all like this, but ours doesn't have power steering or anything, and they do, so it's completely different steering.
Right. Oh, your mini stock doesn't have power steering.
No, we muscle it out.
So how do your forearms feel then?
Oh, they're pretty rock solid after racing for sure.
Yeah. On Sunday morning, do you ever get up and well, I guess Courtney, I guess you've never driven the 20 lap feature, so I think next year before you sell the car, you got to run the 20 lap with no power steering. That's what I think just to just to feel what it feels like because I imagine that's quite a workout for 20 laps.
For sure.
I've ran demolition derby cars without power steering, and that's for what 10 minutes, and that kind of gives you a workout, and that's not nearly as much as what you're doing going around there. So I guess Danielle, like, what do you do? What do you guys do besides other than racing? I know probably if you looked up race car driver, probably a picture of the Morseman family crest would be there. But do you guys do anything other than racing, or is that pretty much all you guys really do?
It's pretty much racing and camping with family. That's about what we do. We love to race, we love to camp. So,
So what's a normal week look like for you guys for working on the cars and all that stuff? Because I know you guys got what 3 of them, so
yep.
or 2 of them.
So, we keep ours and Caden's at Andy's house, which is Courtney and Caden's dad. He does almost everything on those cars. If it wasn't for him, we probably wouldn't be racing. Um, when we get Courtney over there, usually on a Saturday morning to wash it up. But other than that, it's pretty much their dad that works on them.
Right. All right. So do you are you trying to learn anything, Courtney, or are you just kind of letting him take over?
I just go with the flow. I don't work on it really.
Right. Well, hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Um, so you guys, what do you? So you go camping? Is it you guys don't do it? What do you do all winter then? Just kind of wait for spring?
Yeah, winter is pretty miserable.
I imagine the whole family's kind of like that then.
Yeah, we just can't wait for the race season to hit.
So what do you guys do on 4th of July weekend when the where Woodhall doesn't race every year?
We
Hang out
just
with family.
either we just camp, hang out, or we go to a different track.
Right. Do you now do you kind of like having that week off at the in the well, it's supposed to be the middle of the year, but this year it seems more like it's or would you rather just race every weekend and
I personally rather just race every weekend,
yeah.
but I mean
See,
sometimes it's nice.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't expect a different answer from a Morseman. I figured that it would be no, we just want to race. We don't care about and
Yeah,
yes, if you say all you guys do is camp, you can do all that stuff too. You can come out and do a cookout and have all that stuff at the races, so then you get kind of the best of both worlds.
yeah, these rainouts are really killing us.
Well, that's what I said to I think it was Mike Williams. I said because the street stocks were off, and I said, when we came up with the schedule, I thought it was a really good idea to give each class a night off when the IMCAs were there. And then the poor late models and street stocks, they didn't even hardly get to race all year. And then I think it was, what, 80 degrees and beautiful outside. And I know you guys, Teddy and Bradley, had to stay home.
Yeah, I was actually off that night too for my knee, so I've been
Right.
off just as long as them.
Uh, well, I assume that did Bradley drive that car because Kaylee went to the prom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you think Kaylee would have gave it up for him if she wasn't at the prom?
No, I don't think so.
No, not a chance.
I'm kind of interested to see who jumps in it for the King of the Ring. I kind of hope they have Kaylee jump in it because I think it's a lot of fun and I think she'd really enjoy it. And I really think that girl goes some rounds.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I was impressed the first time that she raced at the end of last year and she picked up a top five. And I know what people say about it being the four-cylinder class, but there's some really good talent in that class and to be a young girl and just hop in it for the first time and get a top five, that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
And well, and I'll say this too is that she could have raced with the Warriors that week too. Because we extended it and she decided, I'm assuming it was her that decided that she was going to race with the adults. And that's pretty impressive, I think, for, a young girl.
Yep, she knew she had to move up this year, so she said, we're just gonna jump in it and I want to get the feel of it. And she did amazing. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Courtney, are you prepared for that learning curve if you guys get a sportsman? Because I'm
yeah,
I'm guessing I've never driven either one of them, but I'm guessing a mini stock to a sportsman is one hell of a difference.
yeah, for sure. Now if we can just convince Dad to put her in one, we'll see about that.
Well, I think you'd have better luck based on what I've heard. You might have better luck than Caden would. From what I hear, everybody's a little worried sometimes about Caden.
Yeah, he's my wild child.
Well, it pays off. You know what though? I think you guys all have a little bit of wild in you because I've seen I think everybody in your family make a move work that I go I don't know if that's gonna work and then it does. So usually around the high side, right where he kind of went off. So
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could hear me.
Yeah, sorry, my little one just let the dog out. So
Okay, okay. So is that the plan for her then? Just get her a mini stock or when she comes of age. What is it? 12, I think it is. Is that
yeah, it's 12. I'm sure if Dad has his way, she'll be in a front wheel, but if Mom has her way, she'll be in a rear wheel.
could you no, what about Teddy? Does he ever get convinced to go into a front wheel?
I don't think he's ever had any interest in trying one either. So
No.
I don't think so.
Well, well, this is just what I've seen it from going to other places is I think the front or the mini stocks are a lot more competitive, it seems, everywhere else. I'm guessing it's just the way Woodhull's set up that the front wheel drives can just send it in the corner and get that drive or well, I guess keep it going through the corner a little bit better. Where the mini stocks seem to have that push, but I think when you get to other tracks, it seems to really, like I know they've went to Outlaw and he's done pretty good in that thing. I think he has. I don't want to I don't want to speak out of
Yeah,
turn.
I definitely think at Woodhull the front wheel drives have more, but over to Outlaw the rear wheels have more for
Hmm.
sure.
Well, you can kind of open them up.
Yeah,
What they're kind of meant to do.
right.
But so do you think how many years do you think you have left doing this then if
Oh, I don't know. I probably won't have a full year left ever. I'll just jump in here and there.
yeah, well, whenever you get a car for the Ted Morseman Dash,
That's
senior
right.
dash, you got to make sure you
That will probably always be a thing for me for sure. I'll find a ride somewhere.
have you ever won one?
I haven't actually. Nope.
So what? There's been three. So Teddy Bradley and oh man, I owe
Uh,
somebody an apology. Woodard,
Chris Woodard. Yep.
Chris Woodard.
Yep.
Well, so the you kept it in the family for a while though. So now
Yep.
it's now it's your turn.
Yeah, the first 2 years I got wrecked out in her in them. So this year I actually got to finish it. So I was just happy that I got to finish. So
Right. And Courtney, you never you don't want to run one then? No.
No.
You have zero interest in this mini stock. I'm trying to get you to run a mini stock. You have no interest. Well, but then you guys couldn't. Well, I guess you guys couldn't split a car anyway. Then, if she's in the
no.
division, that wouldn't work. So, is there any? Would do you think you're going to sell the car then, or just keep it until the younger one's older? Well, I guess probably by
No,
that time it might be.
We've been up and down. Trav's gonna sell his car. He hasn't raced much this year with it. We were gonna keep one of them, but we're undecided. Our car may be for sale at the end of the year. We're just not sure if we want to let it go yet or not.
So what is Trav's not going to race them this year?
He might jump in it here and there, but he definitely talks about selling it a lot. So wouldn't be surprised if it's not up for sale.
Right. Now, what about Andy? Does he is he because he's got a car too, right? Or did he get rid of that?
Yep, he's got a car. He's actually putting it back together, so he'll be back out there soon.
Yeah. Well, he's probably got a lot of work to do with three cars then.
Yeah, for sure.
So how's he do it? Just works away, slaves away.
Yep. Yep.
What do you do for work, Danielle?
Casa Trinity.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I do. I drop a lot of people off over there. You,
Yeah.
well, I do medical transport through Medicaid, so that kind
Oh,
of
gotcha.
so I usually I do the wheelchair ones and the bigger lift vans, but every once in a while I have to take somebody there. So, do you work at the one in Corning? Is that
Now Elmira.
Elmira? And I imagine Courtney, you just go to school.
Yeah.
Straight A student, right?
Yeah.
So how come you don't have or how come you don't want a hobby stock?
I just don't like the look of them.
No, you don't. You like the open
I don't
wheel.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. I've always like I had Brandon Conklin on last week and he was telling me that they look like mud turtles. And I told or farm tractors, he said farm tractors, and I said, "Well, I really like the farm tractors." Plus there's a little bit you can't really bend up a bumper, I guess.
Yeah.
You just got to replace it all.
Yeah.
Well, Danielle, I told you I wouldn't keep you too long. So is there really anything else that you wanna I guess get off your chest or Courtney or
Nope, I
nothing at
guess we're
all?
good.
All right, do you want to shout out some sponsors before I let you guys go?
Sure. We got KTM Graphics, Morgan's Auto, um,
Clearview.
Clearview Tree Service, Lad Road Auto, B&S Construction,
Southern Tier.
Rogers Engines, Southern Tier Customs. Um, I think that's about it. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry.
Well, Terry will be happy because you didn't forget him. I tell everybody they can forget him. So,
We
well,
can't forget him. He did a good job on our car this year.
oh, I love it. You know, I saw your car when it was sitting in the shop, and I go, that's gonna be a nightmare to see the car. And I kind of said the same thing about Kaylee's. I said that's gonna be a nightmare to see the on the track. Then you get out, I go, oh, I can see that thing clear as day. I go, it looks awesome. It looks awesome. I really do. I like the colors too, and my daughter likes it a lot too.
Yeah, it turned out good.
Yeah, my daughter's a big fan of the bright colors. So, well, ladies, I do appreciate you making time for me here this Wednesday night, and I appreciate you joining me. I do want to remind everybody to please like and subscribe on the YouTube page, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Oh, and I did forget to mention that I do have firework information coming out shortly. I don't know when exactly, but it is coming out shortly, within the next day or two. I said something about uh, selling advanced seating. I'd imagine we're going to do that again, but I haven't gotten the okay to post it. So when I know, you'll know. But ladies, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yep, thanks for having us.